What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. My name is Milmast, and in today's video, we're gonna be working on the Civic. So I recently took my car to a racetrack at TMP Cayuga that is located in Southern Ontario. I brought it to their 3-kilometer circuit track, and the car did pretty good. However, after a couple laps, it was just not adequate enough for the racetrack, without a doubt.
Oh, these brakes are poo!
So I'm gonna go over today the parts that the car needs, the things that need to be replaced, and the upgrades that I have coming for the car so that I can bring it back to the track and not only get a better lap time, but also be able to have more repeated hot laps. So with that being said, let's get right into it. So if you guys have a car that is track capable, there's going to be a couple things that you'll need to address even if nothing actually breaks. So I'm gonna be replacing the engine oil and the filter, the transmission fluid, the brake fluid. The clutch fluid should be fine, but I mean, it can't hurt to replace that. And also give the cooling system, so the coolant reservoir, give it a good top up if it needs it, because if you guys either burn any coolant or leak any coolant, the coolant level is gonna drop down. Now, I came to my car just the other day and I found a puddle of coolant underneath the engine. And that was because of a problem. So I recently showed you guys how to install this RBC intake manifold, a larger throttle body, and now the car is full bolt-on. However, I ran into an issue with this component down in there, and that is a K-tuned water bypass. So what it does is it allows the coolant that's in the cylinder head to be routed under the manifold instead of through it. However, the way that it was mounted wasn't proper. There's two ways of mounting it. However, the proper way is to actually tap the cylinder head. Now, I did that, it's fixed now, so it shouldn't give me an issue. However, just keep that in mind if you guys plan on installing an RBC and you guys plan on doing this long term. So, I just finished bleeding the system right now, so the coolant's good to go. However, after the track, I did two little mess ups. So number one was that. Number two was I absolutely cooked these brakes. So the brake pads that are found in here were definitely not adequate enough for the racetrack. If you guys were here in person, you could feel these massive grooves that are in here. So the front pads and rotors absolutely need to be replaced. The rears are decent, but it can't hurt to replace them too while we're at it. Short from that, the car did actually pretty well. It did 1:27, and it's a decent time for a vehicle that's pretty much stock. However, I'm gonna be upgrading some components to this. So the brakes is one. The second major thing that I think this car would definitely benefit from is better suspension. So right now the car is lowered on Skunk 2 lowering springs with dampers that are not properly valved for those springs. So I took it to the track, it was okay, but I mentioned multiple times it wasn't good enough.
These lowering springs are decent, but they're definitely not dampened properly.
And that's why behind me I have all of these aftermarket parts that are suspension upgrades for the Civic. So of all these parts, I'm gonna be starting off with installing these guys here. So this here is a full set of aftermarket bushings, from these polyurethane rubber ones from Energy Suspension, to these bushings here, to sway bar bushings, to these spherical bushings, to also these ones. So every one of these bushings is gonna be installed on the car, and it's gonna make the driving characteristics so much better. So given that we're gonna be installing coilovers that have different springs and shocks over the factory ones, well, we're gonna notice a very big difference when we install these parts, because the stiffer springs are only going to be able to actually be stiffer and give us a proper feel, given that the stock bushings do not have much play. So these are all rubber, the factory ones. I already replaced one of them for a polyurethane one, and this is a much better part if you guys are planning on keeping your car for a long term and if you're planning on tracking it. The rubber wears and degrades and will eventually need to be replaced. The polyurethane is pretty much a one and done upgrade. So I'm gonna be installing these components on the vehicle. In addition to that, I have these components here. So this is from a company called Aerogenics. This is a ball joint kit. So this basically spaces the lower control arm at the front of the car, the front lower control arm ball joint from the control arm. So it fixes the angle of the control arm after you lower your vehicle. So it's important on a vehicle now that is running lowering springs. However, when you install coilovers, it's pretty much the same thing. So we're gonna benefit from that, and it's gonna give our suspension geometry a much better feel, and it's gonna have a better stroke when the spring and everything is all set up together. In addition to that, I have these parts here from Skunk 2. So these are 7000 series gold billet aluminum lower control arms for the rear. These are going to allow me to dial in the camber so that I can either add or remove camber with this adjustable section here. This control arm is the best one that you guys will ever find. Now that is because this is made from 7000 series aluminum, which is insanely light and stupid strong. With that being said, this is going to be installed on the car to dial in our suspension. Now, if you guys also want to change the camber on the front of the vehicle, unfortunately, there is no adjustable arm that you guys can install. However, if you guys purchase, let's say, a set of BC coilovers, you guys will have top hats that are adjustable. So this coilover here from BC Racing is not only fully adjustable, ride height, dampening, preload, all that stuff, but you can adjust the camber on the top. So this top hat has adjustable parts right here. These slots allow you to move the shock body in relation to the top, in or out. And by doing that, it'll allow you to add or remove camber. All depends on what kind of setup you guys want. If you guys are looking for something functional at the racetrack, or if you guys want to camber the crap out of your car. I wouldn't quite recommend that. However, you can with this kind of setup. Now, from inside the vehicle, there are also some upgrades that we can do. So when I brought the car to the track, I thought to myself, the shifter could be upgraded. So the throw from, let's say, gear 1 to 2, it's pretty good, but it's pretty long. I have an aftermarket shifter assembly that's going to be installed from Acuity, and this is going to allow me to change not only the actual height of the shifter, the throw of the shifter, and a bunch of other things. I'll get into it in a later install, but the boot is going to get changed out, the shift boot collar, and the shift knob itself. At the same time, when I was at the racetrack, and let's say you're coming down the end of a straight and you need to slow down and rev match downshift, the position of the brake pedal and the gas pedal, they're actually in a pretty terrible position because you can't really heel toe properly. So this gas pedal is going to get spaced out using something else that is from Acuity Instruments. So this bracket right here is a relocation kit that's going to move the pedal in the proper spot to make rev match downshifting much easier. So it's going to position this in a better location in relation to the brake pedal. So this component here and these here from Acuity will make the ergonomics and drive of the car much better. So you guys can definitely expect to see all of these parts in a coming video. Here's a sneak peek of all this stuff. So we're gonna be doing this guy here, a bunch of other smaller shifter upgrades, and then the gas pedal relocation kit. Of course, we're gonna install a banner, and we have some interior trim piece tools while we're at it. And of course, to top it off, we're gonna add a podium oil cap in the engine bay. So on the note of ergonomics, that's all taken care of. After that, we're gonna be touching brakes. So the brakes on the car definitely need to be upgraded, and I'm gonna be changing the stock brake caliper setup to an aftermarket Brembo caliper. This is a 4-piston design and is going to give us much better stopping power over the stock calipers. The rotors are much bigger, the brake pads are much bigger. I'm going to have to install a new wheel bearing because I need to replace these studs, and the only way to change the studs is to take out the wheel bearing in the hub. So that's getting changed out. There's going to be a bunch of things that you guys are going to find to be very entertaining in the next couple of videos, and some things that you guys probably haven't seen before regarding these 9th gens. So I hope you guys stay tuned for this stuff. So the track-capable brakes, the ergonomic upgrades, along with the suspension upgrades are things that you guys should consider if you guys are planning on tracking your 9th gen or even 8th gen Honda Civics. Now, if you guys are planning on making your car pretty much a track-dedicated vehicle, one other upgrade that is a little bit on the expensive side, but definitely worth it, will be aftermarket seats. Because when I went to the track, the seats, they didn't really hold me in place, and I didn't have harnesses at the same time too. So aftermarket seats and harnesses that are made for those seats will properly secure you into the car, which will make driving much easier. I hope this makes sense for you guys. The next video that's gonna be coming out is gonna be regarding these suspension upgrades. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you guys have any other recommendations other than seat time for what you guys can do to make your lap times better, let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.